Your code isn't slow because Python is slow. It's slow because your algorithm scales badly. In this video, you're going to learn how to calculate big O in seconds. Here, I created two codes and they solve the same problem. The problem is famous interview question 2 sum, where I'm given an array and I want to find every possible pair that adds up to this target. So, first solution is the solution where I try and generate every pair and see if they add up to target. Second solution is I process some of the pairs and store them in a dictionary, and later I look up in a dictionary and see if they match the target. This part of the code is completely the same in both scripts. This piece here simply generates an array of 30,000 elements using a random numbers and list comprehension, and this here calculates the time this 2 sum algorithm needs to find the solution. I want you to think and write down in the comments below which one do you think is faster, and let me run the code so you can see the solution. The right code is faster. It took almost 1 second to complete, and the left one took 20 seconds to complete. But how do you know that the right one is faster than the left one without running the code and testing it? Well, that is a topic of our video, and for that we use something that's called big O notation. Big O is how we describe how an algorithm scales as input grows. Not how fast it is on my laptop today, but what happens when n becomes 10, 1,000, or a million. And let me show you a different big O notation functions and how they scale when n grows. Here is the graph, where this big O of 1 means that it's constant. No matter the input, I will always get a constant time. And then we have log n, n log n, which is smaller than n squared, and the worst one, exponential 2 to the power of n. There are many more functions, but these 5 are the most used ones. So, when we try and solve our problem, let's say we solved it in n squared, we first try to solve it to the next possible faster solution, which is in this case n log n, and even better O of n if it's possible. And usually we can move only one or maybe two functions at a time. We can't jump from O of n squared to big O of 1. Also, this topic isn't something that programmers made up. This has a mathematics basics, and a German mathematician, Edmund Landau, is the creator of this. So now I'll write something on the screen, you can read it, or you can pause the video and go and Google it. Big O notation has some rules that you need to follow if you want to calculate your time complexity. First, we have some operations with big O. In big O notation, the only operations you need are plus and multiplication. Let's say I have big O of n plus big O of m. The solution is actually big O of n m, but most of the cases we will write big O of maximum of these two numbers, n and m. This also applies if we have more than two big O notations that we add. But the important thing is these n and m have to be inputs. They can't be constant values. If they're constant, you can simply remove them and you will see why. In next case, we have multiplication, and here we have two cases. First one is constant multiplied by a variable. So if we have c and big O of n, let's say, this c can go inside here, and we can now have big O of cn. But in programming, we don't really want a precise solution. We only want to see how it looks. Is it a logarithmic scale, a linear scale, quadratic scale, or exponential one? So we don't care about this c, and we can simply remove it. So here, the actual solution is big O of n. And next one is, of course, two variables. Let's say big O of n multiplied by big O of m. This is the same as big O of n m. Or if we have, let's say, n big O of n's, that's also big O of n squared. That is big O of n squared only if this n is an input and not a constant. Now that you know these rules, let me show you some examples how you can determine what is your time complexity or big O notation. So, second, calculations. First example is simply adding two numbers. The time complexity for adding two numbers is constant because my input, even if it grows, but it won't grow, will always be constant. Also, if I add 2, it doesn't matter. I don't write big O of 2, I always write big O of 1, even though I have two operations. Next example, let's say I have n additions, so I want to add first n numbers. 1 plus 2 plus 3, etc., and then plus n. What do you think is the time complexity of this? Here, time complexity of this addition is big O of 1, time complexity of this addition big O of 1, here big O of 1, here big O of 1. But how many big O of 1s we have here? We have n number of them, right? And if you remember from the second rule in multiplication, when I multiply n with a constant, because n is an input, it can go inside, and we here now have big O of n. So this is the final solution. Let me show you a more complicated one. Let's say I want to play a game with my brother. He chooses a number, and I need to guess that number. But he chooses a number from 1 until 100. So from 100, I will divide in 50 and ask him, is your number bigger or smaller? If he says smaller, then I will divide this again and ask him again. Let's pretend his number was 1. So I will go until 1. 6, 3, and 1. So now this 100 becomes my input. I'll write it n. This 50 is actually n divided by 2. This 25 is 50 divided by 2, or 100 divided by 4, so n times 4. And if I keep up this, I will reach this final where I will have n divided by 2 and then to some power. But what power? Actually, that is the power of the last element. And let's say I have here k elements in general case, then this will be 2 to the power of k. And since k is actually my big O, I need to calculate what function this k is. And when I know the function, I also know my big O notation. So I need to solve this equation here. If I go here and write it down again, 1 equals n over 2k. If I multiply everything by 2k, here I will have 2k and then n. Then if I do log 2 on this whole equation, I will get k to be log 2 of n. And final, my time complexity is log 2 of n. But as I said before, we programmers don't really care for the precise function. We only need to see what type of function it is. Is it a logarithmic, quadratic, or linear? So it's safe here to just write log n. Now that you know how to calculate this, let's see some of the examples in Python. I will teach you how to calculate the time complexity, or big O, in your code without really knowing what your code actually does. Here we assign value to this s, so the time complexity for this is big O of 1. And here I have I that goes in range from 1 until n plus 1, so this actually repeats n times. So here I add s with I squared, and the time complexity of this is big O of 1. But this big O of 1 repeats n times. So the actual time complexity of this code here is big O of n. And since that big O of n is greater than this big O of 1, the time complexity for this code here, or this function, is actually big O of n. Let's move to the next example. Here I have a code that converts my decimal number to a binary one. S is equal to an empty string. this is big O of 1. While num, we don't know how many times this num will repeat, so we will leave this blank for now. This is a simple operation, so this has time complexity big O of 1, and number is divided by 2 every iteration, and we try to get this number, which means if I divide everything by 2 by 2 by 2, that is actually a logarithmic scale, like in my example with guessing the number. So this here actually repeats log n times, including this here. This is also big O of 1, but this here is log n times. The time complexity of this code here is big O of log n. And I want to show you a final example, a tricky one. Here I want to compare every element from A to B, and if element in A exists in B, I put 1. Otherwise, I put 0. So here I check for I in A. Let's say A has n elements and B has m elements. So this repeats n times. But here I check if I is in B. Very important thing is this in operation actually checks this I with every element in B. So this here is actually big O of m, not big O of 1 if you come from other languages. So this here is big O of m, this here is big O of 1, and because this big O of m is repeated n times, the time complexity of this code here is big O of n m. So make a notice, because Python has a lot of built-in functions and features that doesn't include O of 1 time complexity, you have to be careful. Like in this case here, you might think that this is big O of 1 because it's not a for or while loop, but this is still big O of m. So in Python, you have to assess the time complexity of every line and also of every function that's inside your for. That also applies to all other languages, but Python has the most built-in stuff of them all. Now, watch my most asked Fang question video and see exactly why the second solution destroyed the first one in speed. If you want more coding tutorials like this, subscribe and see you soon.